Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is ANNISA SYAHARANI with the last student number 22. Here I will act as the four roles in debate as the opening government, opening opposition, closing government, and closing opposition. Here today's motion is this house would let the government fully own and manage all the public transportation in Indonesia. So here I will act as the opening government first. In Indonesia, public transportation is used in our daily lives, such as when we went to school or when we go to work and other occasions. However, the public transportation is not only managed by the government but also managed by the private sector. And this has been an issue going around lately that the private sector has lack of management and poor quality than the government managed public transportation. So as the government, we fully agree with the motion that we need to completely manage the public transportation. And here we have the idea that we would like to propose. We will fully manage the public transportation, but it will be conducted gradually. So our first argument is that the public transportation will have the better quality, and because of the proposal that will conduct the transition gradually, the private sector will have the time to adapt to the change made. And then the reason is the government has better coordination and it will have equitability of the route of the public transportation, and also it will decrease the potential of disturbance from technology and infrastructure. For evidence, in Singapore, the government fully manage the public transportation, and the improvement that has been happening in Singapore is significant, and the equitability of the transportation is better. So the gradual management is the best solution of the transition from the private sector to the government sector. Okay, so now here I am as the opening opposition. We fully disagree with the motion that government needs to fully manage all the public transportation in Indonesia. The government earlier has mentioned that they will improve the equality of the public transportation, but how about the safety for the workers that has been working in the private sectors for years? They will have the consequence of not of being unemployed. And here in Indonesia, we just got into some problems like a lot of government that is corrupt the people's money, and also there in Indonesia there also a change in a new program that leads to the budget cut on from the other fields, and this change that the government wants to propose will also affect the other fields other than the transportation fields. Okay, so we as the opposition team will stick to the status quo, and let's move to our argument that there are no safety net for workers that will be unemployed because of the management from the government team. The private sectors needs a lot of workers and they've been working for years. If they take the works from the workers of the private sector, there will be no transition guarantee and it will lead to unemployment. Also, the evidence is that several countries has conducted this transition and the risk is really big that there are a lot of unemployed people in their country. So the idea of the government will fully manage the public transportation is not realistic, remembering the problems in Indonesia is still exist. Now here I am moving as the closing government. To correct the opposition opening that the workers in the private sector is not fired but redirected, and they in the government management they will have stable work policy and they will have a better life because before in the private sector, they didn't have enough protection or healthcare that will lead to the decrease of the human resources. So our argument is that the government will provide the safe status of the workers and the protection rights for the workers, because in the government we will have the permanent contracts and social guarantee and minimum wage that will be eyed by the government. And then the conversion, and again, if the private sector's worries about the public transition, actually the conversion of the public transportation drivers has been carried out, and they also has succeeded to change their position from informal workers to formal workers. So the government here act as the protector of the rights of the workers. So the government here actually thought about the long-term effect of the workers, so they have a better life quality in the future. Now here I will move as the closing opposition. Here the transition from the private to the government management sector, it needs a lot of time, and the system might not be ready yet, and it requires not and in the public transportation area, it requires not only the drivers but mechanic, operator, and admin, and this will take their job. And because in Indonesia the qualification of other jobs opportunity is so difficult, and the workers that has been working a long time in the private sectors not will not have the opportunity to apply other jobs. So this will also take their sustainability of their life. So, and also in our neighbor country in Philippines, when this transition happened, so many people protest because they lost their job and can't apply for other job, because like I said, there are difficult criteria wanted for a simple job in their country, and the proposal is not as easy as promised. And the solutions we need in this is the government and the private sectors need a better collaborative system and better safety for the workers, and not completely hand all the management to the government. That's it. Thank you.